basically those are the parts of this fish tank oxygenator. So what is the mechanism of this thing, you may ask? This power bank will be able to supply the electricity to the motors. The motors, some of us we have done the work, they rotate. So as they are rotating, they will be able to collect air from the outside environment. You may not be able to see, but under here there is a hole that is able to provide air into the motors, and then these motors will be able to take that air to these cables, and these cables will provide the air to these air stones. Maybe because you're far, but these air stones have very tiny holes, and these tiny holes are able to, since the air has come from this part, they are able to disintegrate the air particles into very tiny particles. Why should they be integrated into very tiny particles? The water here will need air, as he was explaining. We need oxygen, I mean. So if they are integrated into very small particles, those particles will create a very high surface area for them to diffuse themselves into the water particles. And if I'll be able to switch on, you are able to hear some sounds. Because the power, those that are here, you can see there are bubbles. Bubbles are coming out. So if you can see they're coming from these air stones. The air stones will be disintegrating the air particles into very tiny particles. And the air particles are making, they're creating bubbles inside the water. So those bubbles are able to come on top. We studied how these things happen. It's because of their density. Because the bubbles have very low density, they will be able to come on top. Once they are doing that, some sort of creating a certain current, and that's why the water is able to circulate. And because it's circulating, the air will be able to reach the far ends of the whole of this tank, you might say. In this case, it's our container here. So, since they're reaching all the parts of the container, it's more like it's circulating throughout the whole of the environment that we have here, meaning air is circulating throughout. So, it's effective. If a fish can be here, it will be able to receive enough oxygen. If it will be on this boat, it will be able to receive enough oxygen. And imagine that being at a very big fish pond. It means air will be able to reach greater heights. So this is basically what happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tabata. So you are probably wondering that why exactly the fish tank was given. You're probably thinking, those fish already, like this and they already come out like, from everywhere else. But here's the thing, this is the reason why we need the fish tank oxygenator. Most of the times, whenever fish are in an aquarium, the water is mostly stagnant. It's not moving, there's no air circulating, it's just still. If that happens, then it means that there is no air circulation. As she explained, there's current happening whereby the water is moving and the air currents are providing that. So, fish tank oxygenator is moving. And as we noticed in the past couple of weeks, there has been a very rise in temperature around us. So if the water becomes warm, it's very hard for it to keep oxygen. So the fish tank oxygenator helps with those kind of cases. And sometimes when we need to medicate the fish, the chemicals can lower the oxygen inside the tank. So we might need fish tank oxygenators to provide oxygen. And even in some cases when we have a very small aquarium but a lot of fish, we are going to need that in order to supply oxygen to the fish. Our fish tank oxygenator, yes, we are very much aware that it has its own limitations. For example, it's making a lot of noise. I don't know if you can hear it. It's making a lot of noise. So we are still working on that in order to make sure that you cover all the bases, especially for people who have mesophobia, like myself. And at the same time, we also want to add in sensors in order for it to be able to tell us that the oxygen levels are low, we need to switch it on, we need to add more air so that we have more oxygen. Yeah, thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all that me and Extend brought you. Thank you. So we really have innovative. Ladies and gentlemen, even myself, I cannot manage to do this. Maybe I can try the explanation after memorizing that whatever has happened here is something big. So, my fellow Malawians, can we give these girls another round of applause? I believe that there are some of us here who want to learn from them, or might want to join them, or even sponsor them. You never know. They will be outside there. When it is time for both visits, you will visit their both, and then you will get to talk about their beautiful innovation.